I'm Marin, and this is Post-its and Pens.
Walking away.
Hello and welcome to or welcome back to my channel. My name is Marin, and here you will find a little beauty, a little books, and a little teaching content. So if that sounds like something you might enjoy, I would love for you to subscribe and stick around and join me in my little corner of YouTube. In today's video, I am going to do my very first unhaul, featuring books that I have owned for literal years that I decided I do not need to keep. So let's go ahead and roll into the video. I am calling this video part 1 of my Start 2022 on a Clean Slate series. Part 2 will happen when I do my December TBR, but in order to kind of start fresh with a clean slate, I decided to finally go through my shelf, which is up above me right here, and get rid of any and all books that I either no longer want to read, have read and don't feel like I'm ever going to read again, or just simply have no place in my collection anymore. So I'm really trying to trim down the excess amount of books that I own. I still have a ton of books in a storage locker that I really need to do this with as well, but I figured I'd go ahead and start with the books that I physically have here, and in the end I will show you what that shelf is looking like now that I've gotten rid of these books. So I'm going to kind of just go quickly through the books that I decided to purge from my collection. I'll kind of let you know why I'm no longer keeping them, and then they are just going to go away. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, the first book is this one right here. It is The Vicious Deep. It is a mermaid book, but it didn't get very good reviews. I remember when it first came out, and honestly, I just don't care to read this, so it's gonna go. The next two books are books that I already read. They are thrillers, however. So the thing about thrillers is once you read it, there's not really any reason to read it again because the whole thrill mystery factor is gone. So the first one is Survive the Night by Riley Sager. I enjoyed this one, but I'm not ever going to read it again. And the second one is Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. Same thing. I enjoyed it, but I'm not ever going to read it again. Okay, the next one is the first book in the Selection series, which is The Selection by Kiera. I liked this one. I plan on finishing the series about America. I have one book left, but I do not need to keep this because I'm not going to purchase the rest of the series, so there's no point in me holding on to book 1. Same thing with this one right here. This is Unearthly by Cynthia. This got rave reviews when it was released, like in 2012. I didn't really enjoy it that much when I read it. There's two others, I think, in the series. I don't own them, so there's no reason for me to hold on to book 1, especially since I didn't like it that much, and I'm not ever going to reread it. Kind of the same case with these next two as well. This is Incarnate by Jodi Meadows. I did read this one earlier in the year. Liked it fine enough. I will finish the series, but I do not need to hold on to book 1 because I'm not going to purchase the rest of the series. So don't need to hold on to the first book. Same thing with this one right here. This is Black City by Elizabeth Richards. This is about vampires, if I remember correctly. Yeah, they call them darklings. I enjoyed it when I read it. Honestly, it was a really long time ago. I don't remember that much about it. I do have the second book on my shelf because I do want to finish it. It is a duology, I believe. It might be a trilogy, actually, but I'm not going to keep either one of those, to be honest, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this one. And then this next book was a find at a library book sale. It is Saving Juliet by Suzanne Selfors. Honestly, this just doesn't sound like anything that I would want to read now, so it's going to go ahead and go too. The next one that I'm deciding to get rid of is Masque of the Red Death. Now, I am reading The second book in the series, right here, this one's also going to go once I get done with it. I remember really enjoying this one when I read it. It's a retelling of Edgar Allan Poe's Masque of the Red Death, but I just don't need to hold on to it because I do not see myself ever rereading this. And as pretty as the cover is, I'm kind of over like cover love and just keeping things because they look nice. The next book is Hunted by Meagan Spooner. This was a Beauty and the Beast retelling that I enjoyed, but again, I'm not going to reread it, so I might as well pass it on to someone who will enjoy it and can get some use out of it. The next one is another library pick. I did not realize that this was part of a series when I picked it up from the library book sale, but it is actually a duology, I think, and I just don't want to read it, so it's going to go. And the next book was a required reading book from grad school. It is The Moved Outers, and this has to do with the Japanese internment camps during World War II. This was a really good book, but I'm not ever going to reread it, and it just can go. Okay, the next book is The Red Pyramid by Rick Riordan. I enjoyed the Kane Chronicles, but not nearly as much as the Percy Jackson series, so I don't ever see myself rereading the Kane Chronicles, whereas I can definitely see myself rereading Percy Jackson, so I'm going to go ahead and pass this one on. The next book is Eleanor in Park by Rainbow Rowell. Now, okay, this book I actually read a portion of, but I remember when this was released, there was a lot of talk about how there were some racist elements in here, especially with Park, the character of Park. And honestly, I don't need to read that. Also, I'm going to maybe throw out an unpopular opinion. I'm not a big fan of Rainbow Rowell's writing. I've tried 2 other books by her, one of which was Fangirl, and people were like obsessed with. I did not like that book at all, and I just don't need to keep this one, so it's going to go. Okay, a few more books. The next one is The Valcourt Heiress by Catherine Coulter. This was another library book sale book. I did read this one, I believe, in January. I really did not like this book. I love Catherine Coulter's other, like, medieval books. This one, however, just did not work for me, so it's gonna go. And then I somehow got hold of this book right here, which is called Blue Like Jazz. This is something to do with, what does it say? Non-religious thoughts on Christian spirituality. Oh wow, spirituality. I have no idea how I got this one. I think it was sent to me by a publisher, to be honest, why I don't know. But yeah, I'm not interested in reading this one. It would have never crossed my radar if not for being sent to me. So I'm going to go ahead and pass this one on to someone who hopefully will get some enjoyment out of it, because that person is not me. Hey, 2 books left. These were both books that I read earlier in the year. So the first one was Meant to Be by Lauren Morrill. I liked it. It was very cute. Not ever going to reread it again though, so I'm going to go ahead and pass it on. Same thing with Atonement by Ian McEwan. Read it, enjoyed it, not ever going to read it again. It's pretty depressing, to be honest, although I do want to see the film to kind of see how they compare, but this one can go as well because it's not going to get reread and there's no reason to keep it on my shelf, just gathering dust. So that is a grand total of 18 books that I am removing from my collection. I'm pretty excited about that. It made room for all of the books that I wanted to fit on my shelf, and I was able to just go through. I basically went through, vacuumed it all because y'all, it was dusty up there, but I cleaned it all off. It's all clean, ready to go. I can easily see the titles on the shelf, and what I did is I kept books that I haven't read or books that I truly loved and would reread, and I will show you what that shelf looks like right now.
Lost on me, it's taking everything. not to turn around. Throw it away. See if you'll let go of me.
And that is the end of this very quick unhaul video. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more. Keep an eye out for my December TBR, which will wrap up my little Start 2022 with a Clean Slate series. And I will see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.
When you're not holding me, I can see it now. Hey, when I look